This is the Dental Up Podcast, your daily source for insights from dentists and leaders in the industry. Brought to you by Keating Dental Lab, a full-service, award-winning dental lab that is here to add value to your dental practice. With high-quality restorations, friendly, reliable service, the best products and prices, come experience the Keating difference. Visit KeatingDentalLab.com for details.
Good morning and welcome back to the Dental Lab Podcast. I'm Bob Brannon, the General Manager here at Keating Dental Lab, and today we are honored to have Dr. Josh Wyatt from South Tampa Dentistry. Dr. Wyatt, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Bob. How are you?
We're rolling right along here. We're super busy and couldn't be happier. How about you?
Oh, the same. We got that end of the year rush, people using their
Right.
insurance, so we're slammed as well. So hopefully it continues, and I know it will. And then insurance starts over, and January is always a busy month, so I don't see it slowing down.
That's right. It's a great trend, and we're just so thankful to have an awesome client like you. It really means the world to us. You're all the way out in Tampa, Florida, and we're out here in Southern California. And man, your trust and the way that you do business, the way that you run your office is just extraordinary. Why don't you tell us your story? Start with where you went to college and dental school and when you graduated.
Yeah. So going back to that trust thing, by the way, that goes both ways, man. Like, you guys have been wonderful for me. So it's not one-sided by any means. Like, you guys take care of me and do fantastic work. So I'm glad we found you, and the relationship we have is much appreciated. I went to University of Alabama for undergrad. Grew up in Arkansas. Arkansas doesn't have a dental school, so I ended up in Pittsburgh and graduated in '09. Moved down to Tampa. Tampa sounded cool. Didn't want to go back to Arkansas. Didn't want to stay in Pittsburgh. It was too cold. So picked Tampa, worked at Coach Dental, and then worked at a big group practice for about 2.5 years, and was fortunate to have some great guidance from the dentist there, who really taught me kind of the business side and also dentistry, obviously, but also a great assistant named Jan, who had been with him for his entire career, like 26 or 27 years. So I was lucky to learn a lot and ask her a lot of questions, learn from her. And then in 2012, opened South Tampa Dentistry. That's what I like to say. I'm your favorite STD.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And then grew, man. We've been really fortunate. People that started with me in 2012 were still with me. And we've gone from 3 employees to 70, just kind of opened a couple offices along the way, and recently formed DSO called My Dentist Group in January, and opened a call center. So up to 7 offices, and have a great team and enjoy what I do. My favorite part is chairside, like just visiting with patients, work with my hands, problem solving. And that's the best part of my day.
Wow, I am astonished. I know you as a chairside dentist, and I know how busy you are because we see all your cases. I had no idea that it's 7 offices and 70 employees. That is phenomenal. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. Yeah. 2 years ago, I hired an operations manager, maybe 2.5 now. Just getting that and getting set and relying on help. I was fortunate to talk to Dr. Work, the owner of Heartland,
Sure.
and he gave me some advice. And I have it printed here on my desk. It says, it wrote this in a magazine after I talked to him, and I printed it out and I looked at it, and it says, "You'll be happier and more successful if you can learn that leadership is about being authentic and open, as well as being clear with your team regarding what you're trying to accomplish." And I've done just that. And I've created, not me, I've created a good team, but the team has created the success that we've had, and lots of help along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sean here, he always says, surround yourself with great people and great things will come. And that's our philosophy here too. We have a core group that's been with us almost 15, 17, 19 years. And our business has flourished in the same as yours. And yeah, I think patients and customers really, they notice when there's a lot of turnover.
Right. I agree.
So tell us about your primary office, what it's like, how many patients you see a day, because you've told me privately in the past. And again, I'm so amazed that you can do what you do at the level that you do it for so many people.
Thanks, man. We're a bread and butter PPO, low fees. I guess low is relative these days, but I always repeat honest, affordable, quality dentistry. And I drill that into the docs heads that work with me. But my main practice, we have two docs, South Tampa Dentistry. Dr. Mark and I work alongside one another. So I finished my shift today at 1. He starts 1. I think works till 6 on Fridays. And then we alternate. I work the mornings. He works the afternoon. The next day I work the afternoon. He works the morning. And we're really just a bread and butter practice. I don't do extruding cases. I stopped doing veneers. I don't do Invisalign. We do occlusal fillings, single unit crowns, and place a few implants. And that's a gist of our practice. We're a full machine and have 14 people in an 1,800 square foot building.
Oh,
And
wow.
yes, it's challenging. It's challenging, but patients seem to love us and we love them. I think I looked and people find us on Google and we don't do any advertising and we see a tremendous amount of new patients a month. And I think we're up to like 2,400 Google reviews, and honest, affordable, quality dentistry is our bread and butter.
That's a brilliant message. It's something that everybody can understand. And I'm here to tell everybody that it's not just talk. You walk the walk because I see the preps, I see the scans, I see the material selection, and I see the photos, your post-op photos and everything. And it's really absolute brilliant dentistry that you guys are providing.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. You guys make me look good. I give you good preps. You send me good crowns. So
It's
it
definitely a
helps.
two-way street. I
Yeah.
tell everybody here in the
Yeah.
lab that I actually break it down into thirds. The doc's got to do his job right on the first third. It's the preparation design, it's margin isolation, it's capturing the margin, it's taking a good accurate scan, it's giving us all the information we need to be successful. Not only that, but then you or your assistants have to make a high level provisional that's going to keep the tooth in place while we make your crown. And then the lab is responsible for the middle third and we do our job. But then you actually have the hardest job is doing the delivery as well.
Yeah, but the delivery is easy with the first two. Going back to taking the impressions, it's ensuring that it's dry. And then we have a trios here at South Tampa. And if there's hesitation that can the lab see that, then there shouldn't be any hesitation. You got to rescan it.
Yeah.
So providing a great scan is vital.
Absolutely. And you're so smart because we find that a lot of customers use the technology as a shortcut where they're just kind of, okay, they'll scan it and then they won't bother to look at it and scrutinize it to the level that you and your team do. And I sincerely appreciate it. And I can see that some areas are stitched over and rescanned. And again, it's your attention to detail on this first phase that allows us to really be successful. And I thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you for making me look good when I insert them.
And we've seen some impressions, obviously not many, but we still get impressions from you guys. And tell us your thought process or rationale for either scanning a case or taking a physical impression.
So for single unit crowns, we scan. I tend to do a feather margin for the zirconia preps, which are probably 90%. And actually FZs, the KDZ, I believe you guys call them. We do a feather margin and we take scans for single unit for bridges or for any interior work. We do full arch trays. We'll do an opposing alginate and then a full arch PVS. I've just found it's just better. I'm not sure. I haven't tried a full, like a bridge in a while, but maybe I should. Maybe we can talk once we get done with this call about some advantages of scanning a bridge, but we scan the single units, which again are bread and butter, and PVS multi units and large with a strong bite.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love it. And I think it's perfect. I think the way you just described it and your methodology, it works perfect. And I think more dentists need to hear what you just said because it works. It absolutely works. So, how did you first come to know Keating Dental? Or how'd you find us? Do you remember?
Yeah, I won the March Madness Dental Town $1,000.
Awesome.
You know, it's I did. So that's how I first heard of Keating. And,
Who won it that year? Do you remember?
oh, I don't even remember, man. This would have been because I still didn't use Keating, to be honest with you. I was happy with my lab and Sean sent me the check and he sent me some flyers and I was happy with the lab I was using. And Then I fast forward to maybe 2, 3 years later, I ran into Sean. I met him in person at the Dental Maverick conference,
Cool.
and we hit it off. Like, he's good friends with one of my dentists up the street, who I'm also good friends with, and I still didn't use them. And then probably a year after that, so years tend to run together now. I feel like I've used Keating for I can't even tell you. Like I said, they run together. But maybe a year after Dental Maverick, which was probably 6 maybe years ago, um, 5, somewhere on there, started using you guys for primary stuff and have just been pleased since then.
Yeah, that's a great story. I didn't know all of that, but yeah, the Dental Mavericks, and is it John Canariato that's your friend up the street?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. On Carolina. He's a good buddy of mine. He's up in a big practice here. So yeah, he's a good dude. I talk to him. We text back and forth daily and trying to grab lunch once a month.
Cool. Did you ever go golfing with him?
No, I don't. I have trouble with the slow sports, like just sitting still. So
I do too. I'm
yeah,
with you.
yeah, I know he enjoys it, but yeah, not my cup of tea.
So tell us a little bit, and I know you've alluded it to, what's it like working with Keating? And most of our stuff with you and us, it is on autopilot because you're sending us
Mhm.
scans, but talk about the communication and how we problem solve some things.
Yeah, that's a great question because we have, like you said, we're on autopilot. And of course, there's communication. What I've noticed with having associates is other doctors just don't want to pick up the phone and call the lab themselves. And I think it's so important for the actual doctor to pick up the phone and call the lab. Say, hey, let's troubleshoot this because it's so easy to blame the lab. So my relationship with Keating, I remember it may have been 2 or 3 years ago, we had a little rough stretch of about a month
I
where
remember.
we were just having trouble. I don't know. I don't know if it was our Trios machine. I don't know if it was you guys' occlusion. I don't know what it was, but we got on the phone. I remember you had me send you temps and you scanned the temps and we troubleshooted it. And that was that, man. I think that's how we got to autopilot because we got on the same page. And anytime there's an issue now, which to be honest, I don't know the last time like we've had that. It is how we
Yeah,
got
that,
to where we got our
yeah,
working relationship.
yeah, I think that was about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And the purpose of me requesting the temporaries, the provisionals from you was I wanted to then scan those in so that we can create a file and see the difference between the dimensions of our final restoration and your provisionals. So what that allowed us to do was then save those settings and from that point on create the restorations with those proximal and occlusal offset dimensions that you were using on your provisionals.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. But we probably put in 100 units last month, right around there, and very minimal adjustments and definitely no remakes.
I can't thank you enough. This is predictable dentistry, and this is what everybody should strive for. And it's certainly what we strive for. And I used that term autopilot a while ago, but it's the work and it's the communication and it's getting on the same page really between your team and our team so that we can have a consistent and predictable final result.
I agree.
Tell us a little bit. I know you probably come in contact with a lot of newer young docs with your other 7 offices, but give us one piece of advice that you would give a student that's going to be graduating this next spring.
Ask questions. Ask questions. Like, I get the impression that when docs graduate, they have the thought process that the hard work is done. And in reality, the hard work is just beginning. Real world dentistry is not what you learn in school. When I remove a crown that has recurrent decay, it's always a huge shoulder prep. And what was I taught in dental school? A huge shoulder prep.
Hmm.
But those are always the ones that get the cavities around them. So ask questions, learn, have a relationship with people, develop a relationship. For going back to Dr. Workman, for me to ask him questions and for him to answer me is just, it's crazy. I still ask questions to my old boss and I've been gone 11 years. So my piece of advice would be develop relationships with people and learn, ask, and not just dentistry, develop a relationship with your IT company. It's no different than with your lab. You're going to have issues and you're going to have questions and you have to you have to set that expectation of being able to listen, being able to learn and ask the questions. You don't know everything. I still don't know everything. There's so much
No,
I'm
nobody does.
learning,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But you can't have that mentality that you do that some have, and try a feather margin zirconia. Try it. See what happens. Take a
Yep.
post-op x-ray and look at the tissue in 6 months when they come back and see how unirritated it is and how strong that zirconia material is. And that'd be
Yeah,
my
the
piece of
zirconia is
advice.
tremendously biocompatible. It's a beautiful
Ugh,
material.
it's amazing. I love it.
Yep.
Yeah. Call it a 30-year margin.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, asking
So,
questions is so important. Again, it's because there's very few people in this world that do really know everything. And we can all learn from somebody. I tell everybody here in the lab, we're lifelong learners. I learned 2 things this week from older technicians from New York State that it was gold. Just absolute wonderful pieces of advice. And if we don't ask questions, then we're never really learning.
yep. It's true.
So tell us before we sign off. I know you're super busy and everything. What do you like to do in your free time? What keeps you going?
Oh man. So I have 2 young kids and they're
Oh,
currently both the same age for the next
oh,
week, 11 months apart. So I've
wow.
got 2 7-year-olds that occupies most of my time. And then I bought a hydrofoil
Oh,
last
sweet.
year. Dude, they're fun, man. I can't actually, I think they call it boiling where you elevate. I can't
Yeah,
do that, but I just use it as more of a wakeboard with a motor to ride up and down the Tampa Bay channel. And
that's
then,
cool.
I put a little Bigsby motor on the back of my kayak too. So tons of water in Tampa, and I like to take the kayak out and go outdoors, do outdoorsy stuff. This is my spare time, and exercise is key. Exercise is tremendous.
Oh, absolutely. It refreshes you. It gives you energy. Getting outside. The hydrofoil, man, that's sweet. I was on one probably 3 or 4 years ago. That was a great time. Great
They're
technology.
fun. They're
Yeah.
fun. And then about 3 weeks ago, I bought a cold plunge. It's like a cold ice bath. It has a cooling machine, so it doesn't have the ice. And I've been getting in that, and it's been an experience. I did 48 degrees last night for five
Oh,
minutes.
oh my gosh.
And as a Florida person, cold water, man, I'm doing it for mental toughness is the real reason I'm doing it because I'm such a baby. My blood has become thin with the cold weather, with the warm weather. But
Too.
oh, dude, that cold plunge is a beast, but it's quite the accomplishment when you feel good after you do it. It's supposedly good for your joints, muscles, and all that as well.
Yeah, I could see
That's
it.
my spare time.
I could see it definitely reducing inflammation, but for me, that may induce a heart attack, though. I don't know. I don't know if I can handle 48 degrees for 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, I did 55 degrees for about 8 minutes, and that was a little much. I don't recommend that. I don't recommend that. So
So
I think I'm going to stick to 48.
even at 58, even at 55 degrees, I'm putting on my 7 millimeter wetsuit.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, man. Yeah. So I took the hydrofoil out. I've had the cold plunge for about 3 weeks, and I took the hydrofoil out over Thanksgiving. And I get in the water. I'm like, wow, this is really warm. This isn't cold at all.
So
So it
that's
was a
working.
relief.
That's
And
sweet.
I didn't have a wetsuit either, just a
Oh,
short. But
yeah.
yeah, so
Very cool. I want to thank you so much. Thank you again. Thank you for your trust. Thank you for your support. All of us out here in Southern California at Keating Dental Lab, we sincerely appreciate you and all you've done for our business. And I wish you and your family and all the best during this holiday Christmas season. And you take care, Dr. Wyatt.
hey, thank you guys too. Back at you, man. I appreciate you guys for sure. And make sure you give Sean a hard time for me.
I will.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Take care, Bob.
Cool.
Thank you for listening to the Dental Up podcast, your daily source for insights from dentists and leaders in the industry. This episode is sponsored by Keating Dental Lab, here to add value to your dental practice. With high-quality restorations, friendly, reliable service, the best products and prices, come experience the Keating difference. Visit KeatingDentalLab.com for details.